Before you bury another banana peel in your garden this season, give me 2 minutes. Because the thing most people do with peels and tomatoes doesn't just fail to help, it can quietly cause a problem you won't notice until it's too late. You've seen the advice. It's everywhere. Toss a banana peel in the planting hole. Bury one at the base of your tomatoes. Soak the peels in a jar and pour the banana water around the roots. Free potassium, they promise. A natural shortcut to bigger plants and heavier fruit. It sounds perfect. It costs nothing, it uses something you'd throw away anyway, and it feels like exactly the kind of clever, old-fashioned trick that should work. So this spring, I decided to stop guessing and actually find out. I took a peel, buried it a few inches down right beside a healthy tomato plant, and I marked the date on the calendar. Then I waited. Not a day or two, a full 14 days. The same 2-week window every one of those videos uses when they tell you to watch what happens. And on day 14, I dug it back up. What came out of that soil is the whole reason I'm making this video. Because it was nothing like what I'd been promised. And once you see why, you'll never look at a banana peel the same way again. Let me back up though, because the idea isn't completely wrong. That's what makes it so convincing. Banana peels really do contain potassium. They've got a bit of phosphorus too, a little calcium, some magnesium and manganese. On paper, that's a genuinely useful mix for a fruiting plant like a tomato, which leans hard on potassium when it's setting and ripening its crop. So the premise starts from something true. The trouble is everything that comes after it. Here's the piece nobody mentions. The nutrients in a banana peel aren't sitting there in a form your tomato can drink up. They're locked inside the structure of the peel itself, bound up in organic matter. Before a single atom of that potassium can reach a root, the peel has to break down. It has to be eaten, digested, and converted by the bacteria and fungi and worms living in your soil. Only then does the potassium get released into a form the plant can actually take in. Scientists call that process mineralization, and it is not fast. It does not happen on a calendar that suits a YouTube title. So what does 14 days actually look like underground? Hold that thought, because the answer is the first surprise. For now, picture what's supposed to be happening according to the internet. Day 1, peel goes in. By the end of week 1, your plant is feeding. By day 14, it's transformed, greener, taller, loaded with flowers. That's the story. That's the timeline the title sells you. And it's a fantasy. A buried peel is still a peel after 2 weeks. In cool spring soil, it can sit there nearly whole for over a month. The microbes are working, slowly, but they are nowhere close to handing your tomato a meaningful dose of anything. The plant above ground has no idea the peel is even there. Now here's the part of this that actually worries me, and it's why I opened the way I did. When you bury food scraps in your garden, you're not just creating a slow, mostly empty promise, you're ringing a dinner bell. Rats, mice, raccoons, foxes, the neighbor's dog, buried fruit waste is exactly what they go looking for. I've watched gardeners come out in the morning to find their beds dug up and their seedlings ripped sideways, all because something underground smelled like breakfast. And in damp soil, a clump of peels packed too close to the roots can turn into a soggy, airless little pocket that does the roots no favors at all. So you get the worst of both worlds. The feeding you were counting on isn't really happening, and meanwhile you may have handed your garden a pest problem and a false sense of security, because now you think your tomatoes are taken care of, so you stop paying attention to the things that actually move the needle. That false confidence is the real cost. It's quiet, it's invisible, and it's the reason so many people swear by this trick while their tomatoes quietly underperform all season long. But I want to be fair to the banana peel here, because this is not a video about giving up on them. Not even close. By the end, I'm going to show you the way to use peels that genuinely does help your tomatoes. The method the internet skipped right over on its way to the dramatic before and after. It's just as cheap, it's just as simple, And unlike burying one in a hole, it actually works. First, though, I owe you that day 14 reveal. Let me show you exactly what I pulled out of the ground, and the one thing in that hole that finally made me quit this method for good. So, day 14. I cleared the soil away with my hands, slowly, half expecting to find nothing but a dark smear where the peel used to be. That's what the trick implies, right? That it's gone, dissolved, absorbed, fed to the plant. It was still there. All of it, a little darker, a little softer at the edges, maybe starting to go translucent in one corner, but unmistakably a banana peel. I could have picked it up and recognized it across the room. 2 full weeks in living soil, and the thing had barely begun to break down. Whatever potassium it held was still locked inside it, exactly where it started, going nowhere near my tomato's roots. And that's when it clicked for me. The 14 days in every one of those titles isn't based on what the peel does. It's based on how long a viewer will wait before they want to see a result. The timeline was built for the video, not for the plant. Think about what actually has to happen down there. A whole banana peel is mostly water wrapped around tough cellulose and fiber. For the nutrients inside to become available, soil microbes have to colonize it, break that fiber apart, and slowly release the minerals as they digest it. The smaller the pieces, the faster it goes. Surface area is everything to a microbe. A single folded peel, buried whole, gives them almost nothing to work with. It's like dropping one giant log into a campfire and wondering why it won't catch. In cool soil, that peel can sit largely intact for 6, 8, 10 weeks. By the time it finally gives up its potassium, your tomato's biggest growth window may already be over. So burying a whole peel fails on timing. Which brings us to the other half of the legend, the one I see even more often, because it feels even smarter. Banana water. You know the one. Drop your peels in a jar, cover them with water, let it sit a few days until the water turns faintly brown. Then pour that liquid around your plants. People call it a potassium tea, a free liquid fertilizer. And it makes such intuitive sense. The water goes brown, so surely it's pulling all that goodness out of the peel and into a form your plant can sip up immediately. Here's the uncomfortable truth. That brown water is mostly just brown water. Soaking a peel for a few days pulls out a tiny bit of sugar and a trace of minerals, and that's about it. The potassium and the rest are still bound up in the solid peel sitting at the bottom of your jar. The same fiber-locked problem we just talked about, except now you're throwing away the peel and keeping the part that barely has anything in it. If you sent that jar of banana water to a lab and asked for its NPK numbers, you'd be looking at a sheet of values so close to 0, it's almost funny. You are, for all practical purposes, watering your tomatoes with weak, slightly sweet water. And that little bit of sugar isn't free of consequences either. Sugary water sitting in a warm jar or poured onto the soil surface is an open invitation. Fruit flies, fungus gnats, mold, a film on top of your potting mix. I've watched people work hard on a feeding routine that was, at best, doing nothing, and at worst, breeding gnats around their seedlings. Now I can already hear the pushback, because I had the same thought myself. But my plants looked better after I started doing this. I believe you. I really do. But ask yourself what else changed. You started paying closer attention. You were out there more often, watering more consistently, watching for problems, fussing over those plants. That extra care is real, and it works. It just had nothing to do with the peel. The banana got the credit, your attention did the work. This is the trap with almost every too-good-to-be-true garden hack. It survives not because it works, but because it's harmless enough to seem like it might, and because we want it to be true. Free, easy, clever, sustainable, it pushes every button. So it spreads. and the actual, slightly less glamorous methods that do work get buried under it. But here's the good news, and I promised you this up front. The potassium in banana peels is real. I wasn't lying about that. And neither was the internet. The mineral content is genuinely worth capturing. The only thing everyone got wrong was the method, how to unlock it, and how to time it so your tomatoes actually benefit. And that's where this turns around. Because there are two simple ways to take those exact same peels you've been burying or soaking and turn them into something your tomato plants can truly use. One of them takes a little patience. The other gives you a concentrated, ready-to-use amendment you can sprinkle right where it counts. Let me walk you through both, starting with the one almost everyone overlooks. The first method is composting, and I know, the moment I say that word, some of you deflate a little. It sounds slow. It sounds like a whole project, a bin, a system, something you have to manage. But stay with me, because this is the single best thing you can do with a banana peel, and it's far simpler than the reputation suggests. Remember the real problem with burying a whole peel? One big piece. Almost no surface area. Microbes barely able to get started. Composting fixes every part of that. When a peel breaks down inside a compost pile, it's surrounded by billions of hungry microbes, mixed with other materials, kept warm and moist and full of air. It gets torn apart properly. And the potassium, the phosphorus, the calcium, the magnesium, all of it gets released and woven into finished compost in a form plants can actually take up. You don't need anything fancy. Chop your peels into small pieces first. This matters because smaller means faster, the campfire and kindling principle again. Toss them in with your other kitchen scraps and a good amount of dry, brown material, dead leaves, shredded cardboard, straw. That balance of wet greens and dry browns is what keeps a pile sweet instead of slimy and smelly. Turn it now and then to let air in. In a warm, active pile, those peels can vanish completely in a matter of weeks, not months. And what you're left with is the best tomato food on earth. Not a single nutrient, but a living, balanced soil amendment that feeds the whole plant and the soil underneath it. A few handfuls of that, worked into your bed at planting time, does more for your tomatoes than 100 buried peels ever could. But maybe you don't want to wait for a pile to finish. Maybe you want something you can use this week, right at the base of a plant that's flowering right now. That's the second method, and it's my favorite for sheer convenience. Dry the peels and grind them into powder. Here's how. Lay your banana peels out on a tray, in a dehydrator if you have one, in the oven on its lowest setting, or just on a sunny windowsill if you've got the time. You want them completely dry and brittle, dark and crisp like autumn leaves, snapping instead of bending. Then break them up. A blender, a coffee grinder, even crushing them by hand in a bag will do it. What you end up with is a fine, dark banana powder. And this is the whole game, because grinding solves the surface area problem completely. You've taken that tough, slow, fiber-locked peel and shattered it into thousands of tiny particles that microbes can swarm and break down quickly. That powder is a concentrated, potassium-rich amendment you can store in a jar all season and use whenever you need it. Sprinkle a tablespoon or two into the planting hole when you transplant your tomatoes. Scratch a little into the soil surface around plants that are setting fruit, then water it in, then top with mulch. It still needs soil life to release its nutrients, so it's not instant. Nothing real ever is. But it works far faster than a whole peel, and you control exactly where it goes and how much. No buried clumps calling to every raccoon in the county. No jar of gnat water on the porch. Now, and this is the part I really need you to hear. Even the best banana powder in the world is not going to fix a tomato plant that's struggling for other reasons. Potassium is one piece of a much bigger picture. So let me give you the rest of it, because this is where your harvest is actually won or lost. Tomatoes are heavy feeders, but they don't want a single dramatic dose of one mineral. They want steady, balanced nutrition in healthy soil, which is exactly why finished compost beats any single ingredient trick. Feed the soil, and the soil feeds the plant. That's the whole philosophy, and it's the one thing the hack video world never slows down enough to say. And here's the one I want to leave you with, because it solves the problem people most often blame on potassium. If your tomatoes are developing that ugly, sunken black patch on the bottom of the fruit, blossom end rot, please don't reach for banana peels. That isn't a feeding problem the way you think. It's a calcium problem, but almost never because your soil lacks calcium. It's because the plant can't move calcium up to the fruit fast enough. And the number one reason for that is uneven watering. Soil that swings from bone dry to soaking and back again. Fix your watering. Deep, consistent, mulched to hold moisture steady, and you'll fix far more rot than any amendment ever will. So the peel had its answer all along. Just not in a hole, and not on a 14-day clock. Let me pull this all together and give you the simplest possible place to start this week. So here's where we've landed. After 14 days, one dug-up peel, and a jar of disappointing brown water. The banana peel was never the villain. It was just badly used. Bury it whole, and it sits there for weeks, feeding nothing, calling to every hungry animal in the neighborhood. Soak it in a jar, and you get faintly sweet water with almost nothing in it. The advice wasn't evil. It was just wrong about the one thing that matters most: how nutrients actually move from a piece of fruit waste into a living plant. And that one wrong assumption sent millions of well-meaning gardeners burying peels that never had a chance to help. But the potassium is real. So don't throw your peels away. Just stop putting them in the ground whole. Do one of two things instead. Chop them into your compost and let them become the best, most balanced tomato food there is. Or dry them, grind them into powder, and keep a jar of concentrated potassium ready to scratch into the soil exactly where and when your plants need it. Same free peel, completely different result. And then take care of the things that actually decide your harvest. Water deeply and consistently so calcium can reach the fruit and blossom end rot never gets started. Mulch to hold that moisture steady. Build healthy soil with compost, and let the soil feed the plant the way nature intended. Get those right, and your tomatoes will outperform anything a buried peel ever promised. Not in 14 days, but across a whole, strong season. That's the quiet lesson under all of this. The best gardening isn't a trick you do once and walk away from. It's a handful of simple things done consistently. It's never as flashy as a miracle hack. It just has the small advantage of being true. If you want the easiest possible place to start, here it is. Tonight, instead of tossing your next banana peel in the trash, cut it up and start a small compost pile, or lay the pieces out to dry for powder. That single change, repeated all season, will do more for your garden than 2 weeks of digging holes ever could. If this saved you from burying one more peel for nothing, and especially if it cleared up that blossom end rot mystery, do me a favor and hit that like button. Not for me, for the next gardener who's standing over a hole with a banana peel in their hand, about to waste their whole season on a myth. And if you want to keep growing more with less guesswork and fewer gimmicks, subscribe and stick around. We've got a lot more honest, dirt under the fingernails growing to do together. I'll see you in the next one.